Hey guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Richard Butler. Richard Butler sent me this story, and once again it's coming from our third favorite state, ghetto ass Georgia. So what's going on now in Georgia, you ask? What's going on is that we have this prison inmate. His name is Cortez Berry, and he's 18 years old. Over the weekend, there's a picture of him on Facebook that went viral. And his mother was sent the picture, and in that picture, you can tell he has a black eye. He's been beat up. He has some type of rope around his neck, and he's standing on the ground, and there's two prisoners next to him. So the mother's really upset. She wants to know how a phone got in the prison, you know, what the prison's gonna do about this situation. She's just really, really mad that her son was beat up while in prison. Go ahead and check out this news story, and I'm gonna come back with the rest of my commentary.
Tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Laura Warren.
And I'm Meredith Anderson. A mother wants answers after a picture shows her son beaten at a Georgia correctional facility.
Cortez Berry is the inmate in this picture. His eyes swollen shut, something wrapped around his neck, and two men standing over him. I spoke with his family today who want to know how something like this could happen with guards on duty 24/7. Cortez Berry turned 18 Saturday, but it wasn't much of a celebration. Instead of eating birthday cake, he's nursing wounds from a prison beatdown.
I was like, oh my God. I mean, what happened? How it happened?
His mother saw a photo of her son circulating on Facebook Friday afternoon, bruised, beaten, and tied to a makeshift leash.
I want justice for him, and I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to get it for him, because at the end of the day, he don't deserve this. No one deserves it.
Berry landed himself in the Augusta YDC when he was 14 for assault and robbery. He was sent to this medium security detention center in Forsyth last year for violating his probation.
They're not being protected. I don't care what they're there for. He still needs to be protected.
The attack appears to be gang-related. The caption on the photo reads, "When you disrespect the nation, it brings nothing but pain and suffering." Experts say it's a reference to the gang, GD Nation, short for Gangsta Disciples.
Blood was everywhere. My nephew told me blood was everywhere.
Cortez's aunt was finally able to see him Saturday during visiting hours to find out what happened.
10 people jumped on him, and they just kept beating him, and they choked him to sleep. Pretty much they left him there for dead.
The family's biggest question in all of this is, where were the guards, and why did it take so long for their son to be checked on?
It happened at 3:15, and he didn't get checked on until 9:45 that night. We could have lost him. He could have been dead, especially when they hung the belt around his neck. I mean, he could have just been gone.
Now his family wants justice and assurance their loved one will be able to pay his debt to society without being killed. The Department of Corrections tells me they are investigating the incident. This is part of their statement for you here. The department does not allow inmates to have access to cell phones. They say, we take very seriously our mission of protecting the public and running safe.
All right, so you guys just checked out that news story, and like I said, this is causing a lot of controversy online. I do understand where the mother, Demetria Young, is coming from, because nobody wants to see their child beat up. Nobody wants to see their child hurt, you know, bloodied, bruised, nothing like that. You know, at the end of the day, she's a mother, so I understand that. But I can't look at her son as some innocent victim either. And, you know, and I like how they're trying to downplay, like, oh, it doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't matter if he was locked up. He doesn't deserve to get beat. Nobody deserves to get beat. But again, this boy's been going to jail since he was 14 years old. He went to jail initially at 14 for assault, armed robbery, and theft. So at that point in time when he was out here wilding out at 14, he didn't have no problem assaulting and beating up somebody else. But now the son, we're all supposed to feel bad for him because he got beat up in jail. You know, I don't know. I just can't look at him as too much of a victim. And it's one thing if he went to jail at 14 and he was like, okay, fine, I've been in JDC. I've learned my lesson. I'm never going back. But he was still out here doing dirt. Because if he wasn't doing dirt, he wouldn't be going to violate his probation and ended up in adult prison. It's like in 4 years, this young man has still yet to learn his lesson. If you don't learn your lesson before you go to the big house, they will teach you a lesson once you get there. I just refuse to believe that this young boy was just so innocent in jail. He didn't do nothing wrong, and 10 gangbangers just decided to get up and just start jumping him for no reason. I'm sure he's not telling all the facts. I'm sure maybe he owes somebody some money. He refused to pay them back. You know, maybe he came in there talking tough, acting super hard. You know, prison, there's a lot of politics. And if you're not built for that life, then keep your ass out of prison. Like I always say, I'm not about that life. Y'all remember when I used to damn tweet for Beyond Scared Straight? I used to tell y'all all the time, ain't no way in hell I could go to prison, honey. I am not about that life. I would get my ass whooped every day. I'll probably be in there getting raped and shit. Like, I stay on the right path. I do the right thing. And I make sure I don't do shit to end up in prison. You know, so, I mean, that's just common sense. You can't get upset at this happening in prison. This is prison. You have guards who have died in prison doing their job. You know, this is not not school. This isn't, prison isn't meant to be sunshine and roses. You have people who are in prison doing life. They will never see the outside world again. So they don't give two shits about you and your, 2-3 year case. They're going to test you at every point. They're going to try and fuck with you at every point. They want you to be in there and be just as miserable as they are. So the mother needs to really wake up, and I really am scared for this young man because he's only 18. To me, I feel like with her going to the news media, she may put her son in more danger. Because at the end of the day, yeah, they might be able to put those two guys that are in the picture, they might put them in lockup or put them in solitary for like the next month or two, but there's still other people in that prison, in that gang, that can, still look to be hurting her son. So I think the family going to the news media about this, I think that was the wrong move, because now they're putting their son in more danger. It's not like he's getting out next week. This young man might be in there for the next few years, and he's gonna have to fight every day. So especially when you got the mom, the aunt, and everybody else crying foul. You know what I'm saying? This goes on every day in prisons. People get beat up, people get raped, all types of crazy shit happens in prisons. We just don't see it because they're not supposed to have camera phones in there. But of course, every now and then they do get smuggled in. Sometimes they get brought in by the guards, sometimes they get brought in by other inmates or, visitors and things like that. So cell phones are in prisons. You know what I'm saying? I remember I did a story about 3 years ago about the prison Facebook party, where they would, just a bunch of prisoners in a cell having fun, partying. They had hooch, taking all types of pictures. They had created a Facebook page and everything. And it's like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? How did this happen? So this is definitely nothing new. While I do feel bad for the mom, because like I said, you don't want to see your child beat up, but at the end of the day, she needs to ask herself, you know what I'm saying, why has her son been in trouble all this time? And I understand no child is perfect, and it's hard being a parent. It's not easy. Sometimes you can be the best parent, your child can still mess up. I understand that, you know what I'm saying, but my child is 14. He's never been arrested. He's never been to jail. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, at some point in time, what was going on in these 4 years that they weren't able to still steer him in the right direction? He went to jail at 14. He's been on probation. Why were they not trying to get him the help that he needed so he didn't have to go to the big boy prison? But now that he's in the big boy prison, he's being forced to learn a real life lesson. So the whole situation is just crazy, but I can't, sit here and shed any tears for somebody who had no problem assaulting somebody else and, stealing somebody else's property and landing himself in jail. I just don't have any tears for the situation. I'll save my tears for people who are innocent, who've done nothing wrong to other people in society, but who in turn got done wrong. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on this entire ghetto ass story that's once again coming from our third favorite state, ghetto ass Georgia. All right, deuces. Hey YouTube, it's your girl Lovely T, and you can show me some love by hitting that subscribe button, watching my previous videos, and following me on social media.